It's a game. It literally says so on the cover. Anybody who says otherwise is lying and doesn't know what they're talking about. Anybody who says, oh, it's not supposed to be fun, doesn't know what they're talking about and probably hasn't actually played. So we've got a couple new controversies that have spouted up, and there's two that have piqued my interest to ramble about today on our walk. The first one is kind of minor and really dumb. The second one is also kind of dumb, but okay. So the first one is apparently there's the satanic panic didn't happen in the 80s. I imagine that cross that was burnt on my lawn when I lived in the Studio City. No, it happened. Why would anybody say it didn't happen? There's literally documented proof that it happened. Multiple news stories, multiple documentaries, multiple television things, multiple articles. I could understand if like just one person was saying, oh, this happened to me in the 80s, but there's dozens of people who have experiences with that point in history. So why is this even happening? History didn't happen the way you think it did, kids. But it literally says. So the second one regards railroading and whether the DM should give up control of the game at any point in time, or give up control of the story at any point in time, or follow the story the way they think it needs to happen and damn the players. Railroading the story to the end, whether and do the players have any say in the outcome? Or is it totally always in control of the DM, and the outcome is always in control of the DM, and the DM should always be in control and never give up control to the players? Well, first you need to define what you mean by control, because your control is limited to dice rolls. Literally, yeah. If the dice don't go your way, you're not in control, because the game itself is built upon a premise of randomness. And the second thing of control is you have no way of predicting what your players are going to do at any given moment, much less what they're going to roll, much less what unusual solution they're going to come up to with the situation you present them with. So you have to give up some control. You have to be willing to go, okay, I didn't know that was going to happen, let's roll with it. Unless you're saying, no, I'm going to railroad them. This is the story I wrote. This is what I'm running. This is the ending. The ending has to happen the way I wrote it. I'm in complete control. I can't imagine anybody's going to want to play that game. Having been in a game where I was repeatedly told I could not do something my character would totally do, and that nothing I would do would change the outcome of the event because it was already predetermined and railroaded. And my argument was, well, one, you don't know what I was going to do. And two, this is a game of random rolls where natural 20 changes everything. And I have multiple examples of stories where players or DMs were so locked in to a specific ending happening that no amount of push and shove changed that. And 9 out of 10 times those DMs lost their players, because why would I want to play in your game when there's only one outcome and you're in complete control of the outcome and nothing I do changes the outcome? So if that's your definition of control, then no, you do have to give up control occasionally, because you don't know what they're gonna do, much less what they're going to roll on the dice. And if they come up with something that completely is out of left field, you've got to be willing to run with it and see where it goes. Now, if by don't give up control to the players means that once you've established the rules of the universe, you suddenly don't drop those rules because some player decides to bring in something or do something that doesn't fit within the agreed upon rules of the universe that you all established together during session 0. Once again, this is why session 0 is so important. Well then, yes, that is a point in time when you be like, no, we all agreed, use a personal example again of mine, where we were gonna play a human-centric, low magic, King Arthur themed campaign, but the DM chose to use 5th edition, and supposedly we all agreed on the power level and the characters we were gonna play, but some people showed up with normal 5e characters. They just, heard 5th edition, they didn't heard the second part. In that case, the DM could have said, no, we all agreed upon 5e, human-centric, low magic, King Arthur themed type world. And you're bringing in, this character and this character. So he could have said no. He could have broken his vow and said, well, fuck the physics of the world we agreed upon. I'm going to give up control, because even though you said you're okay with human-centric, you show up with a elf wizard. Or you come up with a compromise like the DM in question did. And the compromise worked for the short run of the campaign, but still, he had a very specific story he wanted to tell, and some of the players didn't want to tell that story, and he could have maintained control of the story of the low magic King Arthur themed world, or he could have given into the nonsense that some of the players wanted to do, or he could have just ended the game, which is what eventually happened. It's too bad, because I really liked my character in that game. But whatever. So if that's what you mean about giving up control, then yes, you should never give up that control. Once the session 0 physics of the world are in place, the agreed upon rules, then yes, absolutely. You all agreed upon it. Those are the rules. If you don't like them, we can revisit them in a couple sessions, but I thought this is what we all wanted to play. If that's not what you wanted to play, okay, well, maybe we need to revisit session 0 and try and communicate that, and if it doesn't work, okay, we do something else. In that session, yes. But in the other, no, you absolutely have to give up control occasionally, because you have no fucking clue what your players are going to do. And if you don't give up that control, if you are so rigid of the outcome that nothing they do changes the outcome, and you're just hoping, well, they'll immerse themselves in the story and that'll be okay, because I don't have to be a good DM. I don't have to give them what they want. I just have to force them to put up with the story that I'm telling. You're not a good DM, and that's just selfish railroading, because you've just got a story you want to tell, and they're just passive participants, And I can tell you, having played through games where players had absolutely no say in changing the outcome, that we will beg, scream, scratch, claw, punch, and kick to change the outcome simply because you tell us we can't. Oh, I can't kill Midnight? No, she has to make it to the end of the story so she can become the goddess of magic. So if I push her down the stairs, you can't push her down the stairs. I just pushed her down the stairs. Yeah, then you get situations like that. But if you give up that control and, the player does something completely out of left field, like runs up and gives the big bad at the end a hug and tells them how they understand the big bad's point of view, and then that said player rolls 2 natural 20s, then yeah, you've got to give up the control and let the outcome of that moment happen, because the player did something you weren't expected of. So I guess that's railroading. And the bottom line is, Don't railroad your players. Just yeah, you have a general idea of the story you want to tell, but you've got to be willing to roll with the blows. If they're meant to go right and they go left, just roll with it and change the story to fit the choices they make and the things they set into motion. You can move, as I always say, just move shit around. If the story isn't working, move stuff around, move the MacGuffin around, move the things around, change names, change locations. Let the randomness of the dice rolls work in your favor. Let the randomness of what the players may or may not do facilitate the outcome of the story. I love that word, facilitate. So there you go. We've said everything I'm going to say on that dumb topic. Until next time, bye.